Hey, how's everybody chanting? Good. So we'll continue with our topic for the chase for happiness. So I'll do a quick recap because lots of you weren't here. Lots of you weren't here last week as well. So we'll go through everything again. So we started off by understanding why human bodies are special. And then we read this little statement. No, go through that right now. But we looked through the activities of humans and animals, and ultimately we got it to the acronym of SEED, that all of these activities, all of these activities fall under the acronym of SEED. So can anybody tell me what SEED means, what the acronym means? I was meant to show you, but if anybody remembers, can they say what SEED means?
Sleep.
Sleeping, yes.
Eating.
Eating. Not Ansh knows the answer.
Enjoy.
Enjoyment.
And determination.
No, not there's another D, not this D.
Defense.
Defense.
You made it. Defense. 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 Defen Yeah.
So the four similarities between humans and animals is sleeping, eating, enjoyment, and defense. So we went through that. And then we understood, even if our activities look different, that we're all still doing the same four activities. We are just doing it more complex, and animals are doing it more simply. That's the only difference. And then a question came up saying, oh, so if that's not the difference, then it must be the logical thinking or the intelligence of animals that's different. That's different from humans. But we also saw that that wasn't true as well, because all these different animals have intelligence as well as different skill sets that humans don't have. So then, we also saw that if we use our activities for these four activities for seed, sleeping, eating, enjoyment, and defense, then we are nothing more than a glorified beast, which is another animal. I'm going quickly through these. And then the question came up, are animals superior? Before I show you, I'll actually ask you this question. I'm giving you all the answers really. But so the question came up, are animals superior? So can anybody explain why or why not animals are superior? Other than us. Nobody else knows an answer. But
I can reply.
yes.
I think what we discussed was we had this ability where we can say to be better in terms of achieving our goal of reaching to God, where we have the ability to say, but the animals don't.
Yes.
It might not be the exact answer, but
Yes. So we are superior than animals. What Roji said, by our ability to seek for higher inquiry of spiritual truth. Anybody else? But if we remain at the seed level, are animals superior than humans? If we remain at the seed level, are animals superior than humans? Does everybody understand the question?
If
If we just do sleeping, eating, enjoyment, and defense, are we superior than animals, or is it animal superior than us?
who is better? Who is superior? I answer.
Okay, Ansh.
I think it would be the same because they also do see activities and same.
That's right. But who can do those activities much nicer than a human do nicer or animals can do nicer? Yeah.
Yes.
Animals are much better than.
So if we stay at the seed level, at the level of sleeping, eating, mating, and defending, animals are actually superior. Even if we have all this technology, we might think we're superior, but we also have all these other problems like suicide, depression, drug abuse, divorces, riots. Animals have none of these. So in this way, animals are considered better than animals if we stay at the seed level. Okay. So as Prabhuji said, so what is the difference? If that's not the difference, then we went through this sloka. That, okay, can someone say this sloka? Ansh.
सामान्यमेतत्परुषेणानां धर्मविजेतानाम् अधिको विशेषो
Dharmena hina
पशुभिः समाना.
Anybody else? Okay, so in this meaning, we basically discussed there are three things that human beings are able to engage in spiritual life, and without spiritual life, humans are at the same level as animals. And we also looked at that humans can have the higher inquiry and they can inquire multiple questions about who they are, how to get happiness, who is God, and so on and so on. And humans, the third thing, and the third thing is that humans are the only one that can access the eternal love and permanent happiness, which is our topic, permanent happiness. So these are the three things that humans can do, which animals cannot do. Okay. So then we discussed about high inquiry and the different questions that humans can ask in our topic, how to achieve permanent happiness. And then we looked at the four, show you again. But we looked at the four unique gifts given to humans, if anybody can say what they are, what the acronym is, and what they are.
Acronym is ABCD.
Yes, ABCD is the
The
acronym.
A stands for ability to ask or inquire.
Yes, for spiritual inquiry or high inquiry, yes.
Yeah.
B, there are four types of bliss, yeah, bliss. C, choices, yes, and D, someone said it, I think Anmol said it before. No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
he
he
said.
said.
I'm sorry,
said.
what's your name?
Determination. Yes.
Virat.
Virat.
Okay. Virat and Virat, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Capcom. Yeah.
Okay. So those are the four unique gifts given to humans: ability for spiritual inquiry, bliss, choices, and determination.
Do we need to use it? Do we need to use it? Yeah. That's why we are here today.
Yeah.
We are here today for what? To use these ones. To know about them, to use these ones. Yes.
Mhm. So then we started looking at ability for spiritual inquiry, where we looked at Maslow's famous hierarchy and how the seed activities are at the very bottom, and the further you go up until self-realization. Then we looked at the Buddha story. Don't go through that. And then we looked at the four types of bliss: physical pleasure for the senses, emotional pleasure for the mind, intellectual pleasure for mind and intelligence, and then the topmost bliss, which we should be aspiring for, which is spiritual pleasure.
What we learn in universities? What type of bliss they teach in universities? Yes, Hans?
Intellectual.
Intellectual. What else? Sometimes they can teach emotional and also physical. But where's the fourth one? Where's the fourth one? Because they think that we are coming from. We are coming from. We are coming from monkeys. Yeah. No, we are not coming from monkeys. Yes, because they don't know the fourth one. Because the only Bhagavad Gita tells, and Bhagavatam tells that monkeys also there, humans also there. We have 84 lakhs of species, right?
Okay. And then we looked at the topic of choices and how humans have choices beyond the seed level, while animals only have choices until the seed level. And we saw the example of the tiger and the fire.
So a very important one, some of them you missed last week, this one. So important one is anything can be, you can bring into control two things, is hunger and fear. So mostly animals are controlled by to this. A tiger can be, they will get a tiger from the forest but they keep in the case, keep it hungry. It will starving like anything. And then they will tell, if you jump like this, I'll give this meat. If it listens, it's okay. Otherwise, eat. Yes or no? So in our life, if we also have the same problem, so if we are hunger and fear, so if these two are used by society heads, they'll make you hungry so that you can listen, or they make you fear. So this is the thing which everyone keeps on you. So hunger and fear. So we want to come out of it, and we don't want to enter into it. So that's why we also become like an animals. We busy every day working, every day doing, because we have hungry fear. So that's how we have to come out of this two. What is there to come out of these two? Hunger and fear. What can the path we can give to our kids to come out of from hunger and fear? That's why we do fasting on Ekadasi. Yesterday was Ekadasi. The day when you do fasting on Ekadasis, the bhakti will increase. Someone asked who are the kids of bhakti. One means once you start doing bhakti, what you get? Two kids of bhakti. Jnana and Vairagya. Knowledge and renunciation. But who is the mother of bhakti? No one knows. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, who is the mother of bhakti? Ekadasi. Because on the Ekadasi din, if you fast for Lord Vishnu, then you get bhakti. Because that is how the Ekadasis are done. So Ekadasis, every 15 days, it's Ekadasi. 11th day of the moon time. So in this way, so when you get bhakti in your heart, then fear and hunger we don't afraid of this too. Yes.
And then we looked more into choices, and we discussed that we might be, that our life circumstances could be anything. We could be born in this place at this time to these parents, in these circumstances. But even though wherever we're born, wherever we're brought up, whatever our life situation is, we still have the choice and we still have the ability to control what we do and what we don't do. We still have that choice to improve ourselves or stay the same or degrade ourselves. We looked at the example of the thief and the two kids of the thief. Does anybody want to explain that? I think I said it last time. The story about the thief and yeah.
But he didn't want to be a thief.
So both of them were born to a thief. So they were both under the same circumstances. But they both had the freedom of choice. And one decided to follow the father's path and become a thief like him. And the other one decided to learn from his father and become a police officer so he doesn't go down the same thief path. Yeah. And we also discussed that we need the right intelligence. So we have to be very careful where we get our intelligence from Guru Sastra and Sadhu. And also we discussed about this picture about the chariot. Does anybody want to explain that? It's not too hard.
Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this chariot. You see this? Yes. Would you like to? Okay, ask one member what is it?
So try have the whole chariot is the body.
Yes.
Yeah, and the horses are our senses.
Yes.
And The person sitting in the chariot behind is our soul,
Yes.
and the person who's controlling chariot is the mind.
No.
No, mind are the rope.
Yes, the reins are the
Reins
mind.
are the mind. Person who is there is the intelligence.
Yes.
Yeah,
the intelligence.
yes.
Yes. So we have to have the right intelligence. And if we have the right intelligence, then we'll have the right mindset. And if we have the right mindset, we can control the senses. If we don't have the right intelligence or the right mind, and we let the senses go loosely, these five horses, if they go in random directions, then the soul won't be able to go to its destination. And if we don't have the right intelligence, and the driver, the intelligence, goes wherever it wants to, the soul also won't be happy because it won't reach its destination. So if we align our intelligence to the right knowledge, which is this transcendental knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, from Guru, from Sadhu, from what we're getting from this weekly program, we will be able to control our mind, get a steady mind, and control our senses. And in that way, we can get peace and happiness. We'll discuss that formula next time we meet. It won't be in this class, but that's just a glimpse of it.
Did you ever learn this example in your school? No, right? But it is Vedas, written more than 5,000 years before. Long before. This is not a new example. How much old the literature is, right? And we're not doing something new. So many people already did it.
Okay, and then we went to the last letter, which is D, is for determination. And we talked about to pursue ABC, we need to have D, which is determination. Without determination, we cannot do any of these. And we discussed how animals also have determination, but until the seed level, they only want to do what they need to do for that day. But us humans, we can have determination to go further and do for a longer time. But we should use that for the purposes of A, B, C, D. So in this, we also talked about shreyas and prayas. Who knows what shreyas and prayas means? It says it on the thing, but it can.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a second thing now.
Yes.
Shreyas and prayers both are good, but Shreyas is the long-term happiness, which is related to spiritual happiness. For example, reading Bhagavad Gita and applying that in our life, which can give long-term happiness and help us solve our issue. But prayers is a short-term happiness, like uh, uh, doing business, earning lots of money, which is temporary. It can go away. So yeah.
Yes. So basically, shreyas is the long-term reward, long-term happiness we get. And then prayers is instant sense gratification. We do this just to get that. And it'll come and it'll go. And then we looked at two examples. We looked at the example of the donkey and the example of the elephant. Can somebody explain on the board? But lunch.
It's like when the elephant's a baby, it can't like, when the strings attached to its foot, it can't like get out of it. But when it gets older, it has like the same thinking, and when the strings attached to the foot, it can easily get out of it. But he can't because he thinks he can't.
Yes. So the elephant's leg is tied to a tree, and when it gets bigger, it has the ability, or not to a tree, but to a fence or a peg as well. But when it gets bigger, it has the power to escape. But since it doesn't know that and it doesn't have the determination to escape, it doesn't. And similarly with the donkey, it carries the washerman's clothes and everything. And And for doing that work, it gets a little bit of grass. But all around it, it has paddocks of grass, but it has no determination to go get that grass instead. But us humans, we're able to escape that temptations and resist those temptations and get out of this foolish conditioning. And that way we can use that determination for something higher. And with that determination, we can find real happiness. Okay, we'll go a little bit quicker. So then we discussed, can we be happy only with seed and no ABCD? What's your answer? Can we be happy only with seed and no ABCD?
Oh,
Why?
temporarily, yes, but we're saying.
Yes, temporarily, yes. Why? Why is that? We discussed it just before, but we'll say it one more time.
How many of you want to remain in seed level? How many of you want to remain in seed level? How many of you want to remain grow to ABCD level? Put the hands up. Oh, see, everyone wants to go. Everyone wants to go. Yeah.
Yeah, so we looked at how yes.
No.
Uh,
I-
so we looked at how if you only stay with seed and don't go to A B C D, that animals have a much better life because they don't have all the problems that we have. Human-made problems, by the way. And we also looked at the example of a billionaire sent to the slums. So he has all the money in the world, but if he gets put onto the slums with no access to his money, it's like what's this say here? His potential remains unreachable. He has all the money in the world, but he can't use any of it. Similarly, we have this human body, but we're not using it for ABCD. So it's like a billionaire in the slums. We're not using it for the right purpose. Okay.
Is it too expensive to remaining at SCD level or at ABCD level? Which is more expensive? Seed or ABCD?
Seed.
No?
The first one.
Seed is more expensive. Sleeping, eating, enjoying, and defending. That is more expensive. Yes or no? And at the end of the day, it doesn't give big results. But ABCD is more cheaper. It's free. Yes or no? It's free.
Okay, and then we look at this nice
Oh,
poem.
yeah.
A wise poet said, as a rule, man is a fool. When it is hot, he wants cool. When it is cool, he wants it hot. Always wanting that which is not. So we see that man always wants more and more, and he's never satisfied. So this is what will happen if we say at the seed level, we always want more and more, never satisfied. Okay. And then we looked at the 8-step process of fall down in this material world. Don't you say the shloka? Okay. So, okay, we'll go a little quicker. So the 8-step process was contemplation, attachment, then lust, anger, delusion, bewilderment of memory, intelligence lost, and then you fall back into this material pool. Then we looked at why humans have this privilege, and we look at the example of CEO and the janitor, and we also look at the example of the tractor and the expensive car. In essence, basically, we're given this human body to work for a higher purpose, as like a CEO, while animals are given their body for working for a lower purpose, like a janitor. And if we use and this human
Okay.
body,
Okay, question for you. Human body is compared to what in these two, tractor and Ferrari? How many of you say it's compared to tractor? What you say that tractor, right? How many of you say that our human body is compared to tractor? How many of you say our human body is compared to Ferrari? Yeah, human body is compared to Ferrari. So if you take, then Suraj will tell. What you take Ferrari and do use to?
So animal body is compared to a tractor, and then human body is compared to an expensive luxury car. And if we use this luxury car to do gardening work, if we use it in the mud on the farm, then the car becomes damaged and we won't be able to use it anymore. Similarly, if we use this body for only the seed activities, then we're not using it for the right purpose, and then we destroy our chance of gaining the higher purpose that we've been given. Okay.
Next time person, the Ferrari company person, please stop using my car in your field. I will give you 50 of tractors, please. So in this way, God also thinks that even such a nice human body to you all. So if you're using like a tractor, okay, next time go into tractor. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then we look at the summary. And then last week we looked at the two types of problems. Some of you went here. So we first stated that we think that all these big wars and famines and corruptions are life's problem. But if we look at a deeper level, everything like smartphones, diets, bosses, chores, work, everything, all of them also come under our life problems. Not only these big wars and everything. And they come in two forms, temporary and permanent. So we looked at what temporary problems are, and we had an acronym. Anybody remember what that is? The three features of temporary problems. The acronym was RIB, R-I-B. Yes, Ansh. Yes, that's B, beginning and end. That's R and I stand for. Ansh.
It's relative. R for relative.
Yes, R for relative and I. Yes, and
Yay. That's
so these
nice.
are three features of temporary problems. So for it to become a temporary problem, it has to have these three things.
One is for relative, second is beginning and ending, and I for instead by little.
So we started off by talking about relative problems, and we saw this. One man's food is another man's poison. So let's see what that is. So, for example, if we go to the dentist with a toothache, it's a problem for us, but the dentist makes money out of it. So it might be a problem for us, but it's something good for the other person. And similarly, an umbrella seller is glad when it rains, but those harvesting vegetables are losing crops. But in the summer, the people harvesting the crops are happy and the umbrella seller is sad. So in that way, a temporary problem is relative to a person. Everybody understand that? So we also looked at the example of this. Let's go past there.
Mhm.
And then the second one was beginning and end. And we looked at the story of the king and the sage. So, okay.
What
So
is the key?
in summary, this king went up to a sage and asked to summarize all his teachings in one sentence. So then the sage gave him a golden box with a piece of paper inside with one sentence in it, and told the king to open it when you need to, in the time of distress or happiness. So the king was having a hard time with his kingdom, so he opened the box, and then he read that this too shall pass, stating that this problem with his kingdom will also pass away. It will end.
So you also have a secret box in your birva, in your locker, and then put this word. This too shall pass. And if you any have big problem, go and open it, take it.
So the king became very happy that he knows that this problem will finish eventually. So then when that problem finished and he became very successful with his kingdom, winning multiple wars and getting lots of fortune, he was very, very happy. So then he read the message again that the sage gave him. And it said, "This too shall pass." So this happiness as well will also pass away. So that's the essence of the story. That all problems have a beginning and an end. All temporary problems have a beginning and an end. And they'll keep happening. So nothing is permanent. And this same beginning and end we'll see today as well in the topic. And then last one was interrupted by little happiness. So we look at this story of a person getting a job with his master's in business degree. And in essence, basically, it was a challenge for him to find a job. And then he celebrated after getting the job. And then he was lamenting while working because the job's too difficult. And then he became tired. And then he quit the job and he became happy again. But then he got sad again, trying to find a new job, and because there's more complications than that. So I highlighted it in red and green. Red being the problems, and green being the happiness he gets. So these problems, these temporary problems, are always interrupted by a little bit of happiness.
They have happiness, but little bit.
Mhm. And it's like and these little bits of happiness, they give us false hope. And it convinces us that these little pockets of happiness is what life is always going to be like. And these problems come in like oceans. They keep coming and keep going away. They keep coming and keep going away. That's a little summary of that. And then we looked at what permanent problems. And we got the acronym of CNN. So we can explain what CNN means.
You got a glimpse of it. Anmol, you want to try? CNN.
Okay.
Robin, yeah.
Yes. Common to all, yes.
And
And
no choice.
no one will,
No
Can
one.
control.
no one wants it.
No.
Yeah, nobody wants it, and
Punch.
no one can avoid it.
Yes.
So we discussed about the temporary problems briefly, and now we're going to talk about permanent problems. And permanent problems include that they're common to everybody in this material world. No one in this material world wants it, and no one can avoid it. And
Is it interesting? Class is interesting?
I'm going
Yes.
a little bit quick because we're about to cover. So, what are the 7 types of permanent problems that CNN? There are only 7 permanent problems, but what are they? Anybody else? Nobody else?
Death, birth, old age, disease,
Yes.
and natural disaster.
Problems by natural disturbances. Yeah, problems
And
by
problems by
and problems caused by other living entities. So this is the 7 types of permanent problems everybody in this world has. So
Everyone agree? Yes.
we started discussing. So we discussed about birth first. But usually birth, when somebody's born, we don't cry for them. Usually it's a big celebration and everybody's joyful when somebody's born. So how's birth a problem?
Okay, we are coming to the color.
Yes, coming to the Kalaya, coming to this material world. Yes, that's one way. But why is birth a problem? If everybody's so happy about it, why is birth a problem?
Because no one comes laughing, they come crying.
Exactly.
If they don't cry,
Yes,
if they don't cry, you know, Viraj,
Birth
Virat?
means there will be a
if they don't cry, what they do?
birth means there will be a day.
They will?
yes.
They will slap to cry.
So the point was, nobody comes nobody's born laughing, they're always crying. And what Mataji just said, that when somebody takes birth, there's certainly there's going to be death as well. So we also saw that the baby being born as well as the mother, they both go through immense pain. And when the baby's born, it never comes out laughing, it's always crying. And we also think, oh, it's not a problem, we don't remember it anyways. But even if we don't remember it, doesn't mean it didn't happen. Okay? And we saw that if we ate lunch 6 years ago, whatever we made for lunch 6 years ago, we're not going to remember it now, but doesn't mean that we didn't have it then. So similarly, this is also.
Yeah, that's what the forgetfulness will bring, right? We all had a big problem while taking birth. Yeah, we pray to the Lord. Please, I don't want to enter into this womb again. Who wants to stay in that tummy for 9 months?
We saw that
Right?
if a person now, if I put you in a small confined room for 9 months, will anybody be happy?
Anyone of you will be happy? And whatever the mother eats, hot food, yeah, the baby has to struggle. Yes or no?
This is big house.
Yeah.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
Inside very dark.
Yes, that's why birth is a problem.
Okay, and then we looked at old age,
Hmm.
and we saw how old age was a problem. That in old age, people get lonely. Nobody pays attention that much, and they tend to get neglected. And lots of problems come in old age. Also, yeah. And we don't have the power that we had when we were in the youth. So, with whatever someone can do when they were young, eventually they won't be able to do when they're older. And then we looked at the general irony of life in 3 stages. This is a
Interesting thing. So,
interesting thing.
yeah.
So in this we can see that there are problems in every stage of life. So in youth, the youth have time and energy, but they have no money. In middle age, they have money and energy, but they have no time. And in old age, they have time and money, but they have no energy. So this is the general irony of life in 3 stages. You're always missing one thing. So then the question arises, how can old age be common to everybody if many people die young? If somebody passes away at the age of 5 or at the age of 10, they're not generally considered old. So how is old age common to everybody in this world?
Yes, and
Ansh?
Because like old age means nearing death.
Yes. Old age means the time just before death. Old age doesn't mean when you become 70, when you become 19. That's not the definition of old age. Old age is the time just before death. If a person who is 90 years old, and a person who is 5 years old, and the 5-year-old kid only has 5 days to live, and the 90-year-old man still has 5 years, 10 years to live, then who is considered old in that circumstance? Because the 5-year-old kid who's going to pass away in 5 days will be considered older because he's nearing death. That's why my mom said a nice point last week that that's why people say this many years old, I'm 50 years old, I'm 10 years old. It's never I'm 10 years young or I'm 5 years young. It's always I'm 10 years old because that means we're nearing death. And the re- yeah. So in this way, old age is also common to everyone. And then the question arises, what about the symptoms of old age? The symptoms that we get, that you get in old age, such as back pain or, I don't know, there's lots of other different symptoms. What about those symptoms of old age? And then we saw that all these symptoms are also seen in young people nowadays as well. That these symptoms overall don't mean anything about old age because everybody gets them at a young age now. Just a quick summary of old age.
Mm.
And then this is the last thing we talked about last week, which is disease. And then the question came, do you know anyone who has never fallen sick? Everybody, at least once in their lifetime, have fallen sick. And so diseases are common to all, and no one wants them, and nobody can avoid them. And even if lots of doctors and scientists find cures to different diseases and illnesses, new ones will keep coming every year, and that way, nobody can avoid them as well. That's
Recently, I had a very good example. What? COVID. Yes. Everyone who told that we win over the world, they sat in the house locking their door.
And we also see coronavirus 5 years ago was a very big problem around the world. But nowadays, nobody even talks about it that much. See? But later on, another disease will come in some other way. Okay. So now we'll go to our next topic for today that we'll finally start, which is death. Okay. So this is the last out of the 4 main permanent problems with death. So you can read this.
Where's the mic?
Understood.
Okay. Before we start, we'd like to welcome our very 2 new people who used to come before. All new. Can you say the names?
So welcome back, Pratish and Pari.
Hari, hari.
It's nice to see you guys again. So I hope everybody understood until now. Does anybody have any questions or any statements? So I hope it wasn't too confusing till now. We'll keep going. Okay, so can someone read this paragraph?
And whenever the word is death comes, no one talks about it, especially with the kids. They don't want to talk about it. Oh, so why? You can become engineer or doctor or a rich man or poor man. You can become beautiful or you can become not beautiful. That can happen. That cannot happen in our life. But one thing definitely is going to come. What is that? Death. Then why we don't talk about it? We have to face it. We have to face with ourselves, or we have to face with someone who we love so much. Right? So is a topic to understand or not? Yes. When you understand what is death, then we can make our who are depending on us, who will take care of them. If you tell them what is death, then it's easy to handle. Otherwise, we go into depression, anxiety, and all those traumas. Yes or no?
Okay, and death is so out of the 7 problems, death is also the one that everybody fears the most. So we'll go into that as well.
Everyone has to face.
Everyone.
Fear the most.
Or fear the most. Okay.
So can somebody read this?
Even with the best
You can read the
doctors, the latest drugs, premium hospitals, and the finest of nurses, we all die sooner or later. When Mr. Death knocks, billionaires cannot bribe him away, nor can beautiful women charm him off. Scholars cannot defeat death in a debate, nor can a muscular wrestler matches might.
So in any way we want to try and stop death, we cannot. It will come and it will come eventually. Yes. I recently heard this theory that people are coming up with that death is actually a deadly disease, and there's actually a cure, but we still haven't found it yet. So people think that death is a disease, it's a type of sickness that it, in one way, it'll be, we will eventually be able to cure it, but that will never be possible. So I have a short video by His Grace Gauranga Prabhu. You can watch.
There was a very powerful king who was sitting in his courtroom, and a saintly person walked in. The king looked at the saintly person and said, "Please, O saintly person, please bless me with a bright future after death." The saintly person said, "Well, my dear king, you have so much of property, so many riches. What is your aspiration?" And the king said, "I just want to go to heaven after death." And the saintly person said, "Well, do you know what will happen there?" The king said, "No. I bless you that you go to this heaven, but beware that there are lots of mosquitoes." Are there mosquitoes there? My God, if the mosquitoes are there, how will I sleep at night? The saintly person said, "But the good news is that although there are mosquitoes, there will still be a mosquito." King said, "Wow, how will I sleep at night?" The saintly person said, "But the good news is that although there are mosquitoes, there will still be a mosquito net to protect you from those mosquitoes." The king said, "Wow, if the mosquito net is there and I'm going to be protected, there is no issue." The saintly person said, "But there is one more problem." King said, "What?" "The mosquito net has a big hole." "Oh my God, if it is a big hole, what is the point? The mosquitoes will enter. Please help me with this." The saintly person said, "But because the hole is there, it is possible to actually stitch that hole with a needle and thread. And so, my dear king, the thread is available there." The king said, "But what about the needle?" The sage said, "My dear king, the bad news is in that entire place, pills are available. The only way you can carry the needle from here is after death, you take the needle with you. When you take the needle with you, then you can use the thread there to stitch the hole in the mosquito net, protect yourself from the mosquitoes, and sleep peacefully." The king said, "Oh, dear sage, please tell me, what is the process and method of carrying the needle with me after death?" The sage said, "My dear king, the bad news is after death, it is practically impossible to take anything with you, including a needle. So just think about it. If after death you cannot even carry a needle with you, then what is the point of having accumulated all of these riches? They are not going to go with you. Whatever is required to maintain your life, that you have already done. Please think about the journey beyond this life also." And therefore, the question is to each one of us that we have prepared well for the journey in this life. But are we aware that after death, we cannot carry even a needle and thread with us? What to speak of all the other riches? This is a very sobering thought and makes us introspect on the real journey which will begin after. The real journey begins.
So who can give some points from this video? Yes?
Can't take anything.
Can't take anything from this material world with you, not even a needle. What about all these riches? We can't take a single thing with us. Anything else?
Life is temporary, death is permanent.
Yes.
But you have to take birth again. It is not a fix of the life.
But the things we accumulate in this life are temporary as well.
Mm.
We cannot take anything with us after we leave this body. So instead of trying to figure out how to conquer death, how to defeat death, we should actually try and figure out what we should do beyond death, what we should do after death. That is what we need to inquire the most. Want to say anything?
Yeah. Yes. You have a question.
So how can we take our soul?
That's a very good question. What we need to understand, I'll try and explain, that we don't take the soul with us because we are the soul. We have to realize we're not this material body, we are the soul. So we don't take the soul with us, we are the soul. So the soul leaves the body doesn't leave the soul.
But who takes the soul away? But that will say that body is finished. Nice question, but who will pull the soul? The soul can't be pulled out, but soul is independent, right? Yes. Yes, that's right.
Anyway, what you are saying depends on the karma. Who is going to take you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We have two bodies, don't forget. First body is subtle body made up of 5 elements, right?
Gross body,
Gross body, yes. Subtle body,
3 elements.
3 elements is mind, intelligence, and force. All this life you are swimming in the ocean every time. I want to go swimming, I want to go swimming, I want to go swimming. And then you are dying. Oh, I'm going to miss my swimming. I'm going to miss this ocean. I'm going to swim, not can't able to swim now. Then what your mind is always thinking? Swimming. Your intelligence is want to go deep into the ocean. And then your ego is, I want to swim, go faster. So what is the next life going to be?
Fish.
A big fish, which can go so deep. Yes or no? Because your mind is thinking like that. Your ego is like that. Understand? So that's why understand we have two bodies. Nice question. Yeah. In that way, we have to think what are we going to do after this?
It's also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita that whatever we desire for, that's the body we're going to take in our next life. Even if it's not desiring, well, that's the main thing. But it's also mentioned, I don't remember the sloka exactly. But Krishna says that whoever you pray to as well, or whoever your desire is to most,
Yam is one.
Yanti Deva.
Yanti
Yanti Deva Vratam Devan Prithu Yanti Prithvadaha Bhutani Yanti Bhudeja Yanti Madhyajinu. So he mentions that if you pray to the demigods, you'll go to the demigods. If you pray to your ancestors, you'll go to wherever your ancestors go to. But if you pray to Krishna, then you'll go back home, back to Krishna.
What about you pray to be Pret and Pishas? If you pray to ghostly,
That's if you pray to ghosts and spirits, you'll go to where the ghosts and spirits are.
So it's like attachment. If you are attached too much, you become the Bharat Maharaj.
yes, it has to be taken birth of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
my dad mentioned before, we're too, even for the seed activities, if we're too attached to eating all these different types of food, we'll become into an animal that likes eating a lot, like a pig. If we what's another thing? If we like defending our territory a lot, if we like going to war, if we like fighting, we'll become into a being that likes fighting, like a tiger or something like that. Like that, whatever we're attached to, whatever we desire for, whatever our mentality is, whatever we pray for, that is what we're going to get in our next life. So we have to be very, very careful and inquire how and what we should do beyond death.
And that's why this class is Bhagavad Gita is also called which management? Desire management. There's no classes in any university. They teach you time management, they teach you health management or wealth management, but no one teaches you desire management. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us desire management. Right? Even in our, if you think in your childhood, you are in, you're going to school, but if you associate with bad people and you desire to be like that, what do you become? You can't even go to universities, right? You end up in a very bad place. So even in this life, what you choose, what you desire, that's where you're going. Today is Friday. Because you desire to come and serve Krishna, and here is Krishna, you're coming here. But if you desire something else, you'll go there. Listen. So that's why here we know what is desire management. And you're so fortunate, by mercy of Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada, we are able to sit down and hear these nice classes. Right?
So, anybody have any questions or statements? No? Okay, so then the question, the very nice point about fear of death comes up. Fear of death ranks as the number one fear globally. So there's a little story.
Insurance companies behind it. They will tell us it's fear is their cash. Right?
So we have a little story. Can somebody read?
We'll start from here.
On July 11, 2008, a series of bomb blasts ripped through the Mumbai Grand buildings. Leaders glorified the city's farm spirit and encouraged the masses to bounce back fearlessly by filling up trains to work the very next day. During those times, one of our colleges forgot the colleges forgotten that filled with Bhagavad Gita books. While alighting a train in a hurry, when he realized his back was missing. He rushed to the train final destination. To his amazement, he discovered a huge crowd swarming around him.
Yeah, you can.
On drawing closer, our friend found them fearfully staring down at his baby bag. He was a bomb. It remained there untouched, surrounded by policemen and sniffer dogs. Our friend calmly walked up and nonchalantly took his bag, much to the surprise of the anxious commuters and constables crowding the place.
Yes. So on July 11, 2008, there were a series of bombs in Mumbai. And then the very next day, the leaders, trying to gird up the fear of everybody, they started the railways again. They started the trains again, so everybody can go to work and everything. And then one of the Prabhus, his friend, he left a bag on the train, on the station, and everybody thought it was a bomb. The fear arose in everybody's heart that they might die because there might be a bomb in the bag. But it was just a simple bag with one book in it. So when the friend came and took the bag away, then they stopped making it such a big deal. But until then, everybody had the fear that the bomb will go off, that another casualty will happen. So in this way, the fear of death is within everybody and is the number one fear globally. So what we need to do is overcome this fear of death. Okay, you say anything? Okay. You need to overcome this.
Yeah.
Yes. And we can do that by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, listening to Guru Sadhu, and coming to these everyday
Every
Friday
week.
programs, every week Friday programs.
Every day will be good.
Yeah.
Actually, it is to be every day. The schooling means In the school, they used to learn this one. By the time 5 to 12, 13 years, if the kids are very well versed in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and all these ones, they used to become fearless and they can achieve anything in this world. The one who knows about their death, they can be happiest person. Because we think that we are going to live here forever, we harbor all our lust, anger, and everything with us because we think that we're going to enjoy later on. But the one who knows about that, we are here only as a passengers. That person will be very, very happy, and he does his duty perfectly. Example, can you give me the? Okay. Example like a cashier in the bank. How much money he comes, gets, it takes it and deposits it in the bank. But if he says that I'm working here for last 20 years, can I use this cash for myself? Can he? No. So that is the beauty. He knows that he has to clock out and he has to go to home. This workplace is not a real place. So he does his duty very clearly. So when from childhood we know that there's a permanent problem in our life, but old age, disease, and death, 4 problems. So then we will do something how to overcome this. But a lot of people say that it's anyway going to happen, forget about it. We will build a big building on top of the earthquake zone area. We build a skyscraper, but the government said that this is a earthquake prone. Do you think he's an intelligent person? How much of hard work he did to build a big skyscraper? But the government is telling this area is going to be earthquake prone. Nah. In saying that nowhere in the world earth is safer. Anyway, anything can happen. That's what we're going to see next one. So, but people build big buildings. But what happens? It's going to, like that, we also build a big image of our life. But in 1 second, it's get shaken. Right? That's why we have to understand that we build a building, but we know that it's also going to go. So we have to know what we have to do after that. Okay? Yeah. We'll have 15 minutes and then we'll finish. Okay.
So the question might come, are people who commit suicide not afraid of death? This is a very common question that comes up in these type of topics. So if everybody fears death, people who commit suicide, are they not afraid of death? But they're doing it purposefully.
How many of you say that they don't have fear?
They have actually more fear because they don't want to face the problem that way. And they think that death is a small problem and they take suicide.
And the problem is more bigger than? Is it the answer?
Basically. So who can read this?
Yeah, next. Who's next?
Let's see.
Yeah, she was there.
And suicide are also scared of death. We all want to be alive and happy. But when the present and the future seem hopeless, death becomes a desperate escape from the pain, sufferings of their tragic circumstances.
Yes. So people, if they commit suicide, they're actually fearful about the problems they already have. And they think they commit to death because they think, oh, all these problems will go away if I simply commit to death. So that's their desperate escape away from this pain. So in this way, they are also fearful of death. And next paragraph.
Suicide bombers feel to death. Suicide bombers are also fearful to death, but their lives more painful to endure. After being brainwashed, with hateful ideologies, and a wish for afterlife of happiness. The suicide bombers are not fearless of death. Instead, they are fearful of living with hostiles and pain.
Yes. So even suicide bombers, they're not fearless of death, but they're fearful of living with all these pains and different ideologies and hostilities. But they're wishing for happiness after death, after this life. But even then, can they get happiness? No, even after death, they cannot get happiness. They have to fall back in the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease again, with more complications in their next life. So in that way, they also won't get happiness. So, any questions until now?
Any questions?
Any statements, questions, confusion? No? Okay.
Can I share one joke?
Yes. Yeah.
So one joke that one of the boy who failed in his school, so he gone for a suicide and climb on a tower. So there are so many people who try to convince him that don't do that, but he's not ready. So one of his friends just go there and say something in his ear, and then he left the idea of suicide. So when he came down, everyone asked his friend that what did you say him that he change his mind. So the friend says, I said that if you die, you have to then again born and you have to again keep all the exams. It is better than don't die now. Otherwise, we have to start again.
Yes, all we have to do is repeat this same cycle again and again. Yeah. Okay, so we discussed about the starting 4 permanent problems, which is birth, death, old age, and disease. Yes. So, but there are 3 more problems that we have in this life. Okay, the first one is problems by the body and mind. Adhyatmika Klesa. You can read this, please.
You can read.
Adi means originating from, Atmika means body or mind, and Klesha is suffering. So
Adhyatmika.
Adhyatmika Klesha means miseries arising from our body mind. Is there anyone who has not been afflicted by a physical illness? Who.com reports that stress and mental ailments are the most significant threats in the 21st century.
So the problems caused by this body and mind are also permanent problems, such as written here, the physical illnesses and mental alignments are a significant threat and problem for the 21st century. Can anybody else name any more problems by the body? There are many.
You keep your glasses with you, okay?
What are some other problems by the body?
Yeah.
Yes. Suicide. Yes, that's caused by our own mental illnesses as well. Yes.
Drug abuse.
Yes, drug abuse. These can all be inflicted by the mind and body. It can also be inflicted by other living entities. It can be both. Yes. Anything else? Yes, junk food as well. Yes.
Gambling.
Yes, gambling. Yes.
Depression.
Depression. Yes. Done.
Smoking.
Yes. Riots. Yeah.
Yes.
Stressing out.
Stressing out. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Divorce.
Divorce,
Divorce.
yes. So even something simple as yeah.
Not loudly.
Yes.
Screaming at someone.
Yes.
Corruption.
Corruption. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Anger.
Anger.
Yes, some of these fall into the category of problems caused by other living entities. But even something simple as not studying for the test the next day can also be a problem by the body. See, all these little and big problems are caused by the body. Okay. The second problems are problems by other living entities. Can somebody read this, please?
Mosquito.
Can you read? Yeah, you can read. Yeah, you can read. Yes. No.
Problems by other living. Are they in the origin? Politica are other living beings. And Canada is determined of government of Politica is paid and from others. Conflicts when loved ones and us to get us like nothing else. What to speak of financial or the political, commercial, or international. Plus, even a tiny bite of muscular thing can make our lives miserable.
Yes, so any problem caused by other living entities are called the political place. They also permanent problems, whether it be financial, international, corruption, riots, all of these major problems affected by other people, or as simple as a mosquito biting you. These are all problems by other living entities. And we'll go last one, which is problems by natural disturbances.
Yeah.
You
Can you?
Problems by natural disturbances. Adding the beginning, Darwin can be as supernatural causes, and glacial means memories. The Adidavika glacier are the sufferings imposed by unexpected disturbances in nature. Earthquakes, cyclones, tsunamis, floods, and droughts are natural calamities that create widespread devastation. How vulnerable are we in front of climatic changes?
Yeah, so all these problems caused by natural disturbances such as earthquakes and so on and so on. These are also permanent problems for us. So this is how powerful Mother Nature is as well. Even a simple thunderstorm or if it's raining outside, we can't go and do this or something like that. It's too hot, we can't go out and do this. These are also disturbances.
In a country, they were going to celebrate a big festival, and then there's all lighting lights like Diwali, and then they forecast this. They asked the forecast company, and they said that it's going to be raining on the day, and it's going to be thunderstorms, and the big event for the year was cancelled. And then on the day, it was nice and bright. And that company lost the job. That company. What can we do? We can only predict. But the day when we say that it's nice, it can be horrible. The day when we can think that it's horrible, it can be a nice day. So that's why we are limited people. We only can do a little bit around it. So when we know that, oh, then the problem, hey, I know this problem. In this world, these problems are always there. I know how to handle this as well. How to handle it? We're going to see.
So that is also a problem caused by the living entities. Okay. So what are the three other problems that we had? We just discussed.
Yeah, permanent.
Huh?
Yeah, are they permanent?
Yeah, permanent problems. So what are they? What are the three that we just?
Problems from other beings, problems by problems.
Yes. So the question might come: are these not temporary problems? At the beginning, and then one for limited amount of time. If corruption happens, then it happens like the corruption, like a specific problem happened in New Zealand, and it stopped, and now it's ends. So why these four permanent problems? Why are they not temporary problems?
Happening in the country.
But in everything, like for example, in the stuff, about it, how, and not everybody feels it. So,
I think the impact will last, even though there is a beginning and end, but the impact is there to affect everyone for a substantial time.
yes. Yes.
Which will continue.
Yeah, it's gonna keep happening. It's gonna keep happening. There might be wars happening right now, but it's not happening. But these problems caused by the body, the other living entities, the natural disturbances, they will keep coming to us, keep happening every time. No? So the specific problem might be temporary, but it keeps coming to everybody. From that way, they're from
Someone says that Israel is such a nice country, we don't have any problem here. There are wars in Gaza, there are wars in India. And when they went to India, they have seen the war. Is that a- But here, we have many problems. So many people divorcing, so many people have drug addict, so many people have go to psychiatric, so many people go to doctor. Why is if it's developed country, means these people should be there. If you say it's a developed country, there should be no hospital. There should be no psychiatrist. There should be no lawyer. There is no criminals. But here, more than other people, other countries. If they say so-called developed country. Yes? And people have a problem of too much eating, obesity. Yes? The problem of these three problems, one problem will be there always. If not this problem, that problem. So now sometimes three problems will be there. Sometimes maybe two problems will be there. But one problem will be always there.
even if we take only one, like natural disturbances or no, like getting affected by other living entities. In one place, it might be in the form of having a war, but in another place, for another person, it might be because their parents are not good people. There's lots of abuse or something. So in that way, also in different places, these happen in different forms, different. So that's what it's about. So this was basically saying how the natural disturbance, that specific one might be temporary, but since it occurs to everybody in different ways, and they occur continually, it makes it a permanent problem. And same with this, corruption, poverty, and all of that, they might be temporary for that specific problem, but they continuously happen. So in that way, problems goes back to the entity from for our own human body, the diseases that come, the pain that others will be don't consider them might be temporary, but overall they keep coming from that thing. Okay. And then so we go to the next part, which is solving temporary and permanent problems.
Are you interested?
With this slide, we won't have enough time to do the rest. So,
Yeah. And yeah.
That okay, if you consider the time, okay. That's also that specific thing of the tire being punctured is a temporary problem. That's caused by another living entity or yourself, that tire being punctured. But even if that happens continuously, the tire being punctured is still a temporary problem. But the problem caused by yourself or a living entity is the permanent problem. But it's being caused by that thing, it keeps continuously happening. That's the permanent problem, not the specific tire getting punctured.
A Thai shopper will be very happy. Right? Yes or not, that's a relative. But whereas you're going through the turmoil, okay?
Mm. Yes. So
Immediately. Sorry.
solving temporary problem.
Who's saying that?
We can solve this problem, strong problem, natural and the natural problem, givers, we want to, and everybody. Now we can solve their problem. Then we can all is it, solution that doesn't solve.
Issues.
If the patient has issues, and if they have. Of the disease, if the patient will be temporarily. These functions are temporary. And so you can even. Eradicate. Solution.
So if a patient goes to a doctor with a problem, they boil all over his skin for little like bumps they get from heat and they all over his skin. If the doctor gives him a temporary solution like a special cream, they it might reduce the boil, but it'll come back again. But if the doctor cures the root cause of those boils, which is maybe bad blood, maybe if you go to the root cause of that problem, then you can eradicate the problem entirely. So similarly, these temporary problems, they make temporary life worse for some problems, but it will never eradicate the problem fully. So these temporary problems, solutions will never eradicate these permanent problems. The only way to solve these permanent issues is a permanent solution. And that's what we need to try and figure out what is permanent solution. And if we keep discussing about these problems, we'll never find a solution. So next week we'll discuss that. And by discussing the solution, a lot of people without this knowledge in zero growth, they always discussing more about these problems and only talk about these problems. But if they use their time to actually find the solution, then solving that problem will become quicker. But if you only stick with the problem and find temporary solutions all the time, then you'll never get to the real solution. Thing so about NASA. So what they needed to do is, so you know, a regular ballpoint pen, an ink pen that everybody uses, and due to gravity, it works on Earth. But they needed a pen that worked in space. But due to gravity, the ink doesn't come out of the pen, so you can't write on it. So they spent millions of dollars, and they tried to solve. They tried different ways to solve that problem, and they finally made a very expensive pen that they can write in space. But another space company, what I don't know what the name, in Russia, instead of focusing on that problem for lots and lots of time and using lots of money on it and making a new pen, they used a pencil instead. It can work in space. So in that way, if you focus more on the problem, then it will take a very long time or you'll get a very temporary solution. But if you focus on solution for that problem, the solution, then you will get to the permanent solution quicker.
Yes. 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 A question.
Once you guys end up looking for the
the pins that NASA made, because like when the kids are like, you get little piece of like the granite or whatever it's like writing, it comes off and it can damage the ship.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did, but in this example, we can see how the science works.
You can make a pencil with where it can break.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give one more example. Okay, so there was a manufacturing company, and then that company was making like a packing. So the packing machine, they had a problem. Some of the packing when they everything. So it connects itself and goes to the box. But that's not a complaint. Some of the packages are empty, it doesn't have anything in fill it. And this government companies are spending so much money to identify scanning and doing which bags is not filled. And then it was given to Indian company. It was giving $100. That's 100 rupees per hour. That's not the problem. You know what it? Give me the fun company. You give the class there, well, automatically, when if anything is not full, fill it, then it will be like that. Yeah, correct. So, while it's like that way, so permanent problem, see, temporary solutions will give a relief. For permanent problem, we can't find a temporary. For any material problem, if you take material solution, temporary. For any material problem, you take the permanent solution, then you get the permanent. Yes or no? That's where our Bhagavad Gita starts.
So that's the end of this topic. Our next topic was going to be temporary happiness. So we'll do that next time. So to summarize, two types of problems. You first had by saying there are two types of problems, which is temporary and permanent when it comes to everybody. And then the second thing we discussed was temporary problems are, and the acronym of RDI, is R, relative, B, beginning and end, and I, intermittent, which is interrupted by a little bit of happiness. And then the third topic we discussed was permanent problems. Next was common to all, no one wants it, and no one can avoid it. And there are 7 permanent problems, which is birth, old age, disease, death. And the miseries caused by body and mind, other living entities, and other natural disturbances. The fifth thing we discussed was solving temporary problems provides temporary happiness, while solving permanent problems grants permanent happiness. The temporary problems get short relief, while permanent solutions will give permanent happiness. And with the last example of the doctor invitation, the topic we discussed was to solve permanent problems, we need to go to the root cause and not just treat this superficial symptom. Okay, so the next topic will be how do you get that permanent solution? We'll talk about temporary happiness and permanent happiness next time. And thank you everybody for listening. And does anybody have any questions or statements? Thank you for listening.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
So, Thank you, everybody, for coming.
thing in here that